So, welcome back to Sports Debate, guys. And today we're going to be talking about two of the most dominant defensive players of our generation, um, J.J. Watt and Aaron Donald. And, this is kind of been in the news. I guess this is relevant because, J.J. Watt just got released from the Texans, which is huge news. And wherever he goes, I think he's going to go to contender. So it's going to be it's going to cause massive impact in the NFL. So we decided to kind of honor him and talk about him. So our question today is, who would you rather have in their prime, Aaron Donald or J.J. Watt, like the battle of the 99s? So we're going to start with Shivam today, and Shivam, take it away.
So I would rather have prime J.J. Watt than prime Aaron Donald. So I'm going to consider the prime years of J.J. Watt to be from 2012 to 2015. And in those 4 seasons, J.J. Watt had 69 sacks, 215 total tackles, 190 quarterback hits, 15 forced fumbles, 10 fumble recoveries, 41 passes defended. So he was pretty much doing a little bit of everything. And he was impacting the game in pretty much every way you can as a defensive player. If he wasn't getting a sack on the quarterback or a pressure, he was either batting the ball down or pretty much just getting into the pocket and causing the quarterback to do something other than just stand in the pocket and survey the defense. And in the run, he was, getting in the getting the backfield, stuffing the runner, getting a tackle for loss or a forced fumble. So he was pretty much one of those players who was everywhere on the field, doing anything and everything you can ask for from a defensive player.
Okay, so what Shivam just said, every single part of that, every single part, a player that can be on, it's always there, is always in the play, is always doing something on the field. Another name that is used to describe that kind of player, Aaron Donald. Except Aaron Donald is a defensive tackle. J.J. Watt is a defensive end. J.J. Watt is responsible, a first-round pick himself, just like Aaron Donald, for getting sacks, for getting tackles in the backfield, for getting all this stuff. You don't expect a defensive tackle from leading the league in sacks and from leading the league in QB pressures multiple times. In this filming, he just won his third Defensive Player of the Year. His position and the ability he has to wreck a game as a defensive tackle, a position most people don't consider game wreckers, that's why he's better.
So I think I kind of agree with Dash, but kind of in a different sense, where I think, like, if I had to give them like a Madden grade or something, I think I'd give prime J.J. Watt a higher grade, because I've watched Aaron Donald over the past few years, but I've never seen anything like J.J. Watt those prime years. Like, he was just such a menace, kind of like Shivam was saying. But if I want to pick one for my team, I kind of want to take like someone that can like anchor my defense and do everything. And I think Aaron Donald is that guy where he's gonna, like Dash was saying, like as a defensive tackle, you're not like expected to get sacks. Like if you do, great, but he's meant to like plug that, like be in the center of the line, plug that defense, and like stuff the run and stuff. But on top of that, if he's producing like elite sack numbers, like there's nothing more you can want. He's just gonna cause destruction up there in the front. So I don't think there's like a more valuable defensive player you can like ask for than an Aaron Donald, even though J.J. Watt is great.
I mean, I understand where you guys are coming from, saying that Aaron Donald putting up the numbers he's putting up at his respective position, and he does deserve credit for that, and I agree, he does deserve credit. But for pretty much all the major defensive categories that I mentioned, like tackles, quarterback hits, forced fumbles, pressures, and stuff like that, on the 4 years for prime J.J. Watt and the prime years for Aaron Donald, I'm going to consider 2017 to this year, 2020, J.J. Watt was leading Aaron Donald in all categories that I mentioned. And on top of that, J.J. Watt was also defending passes, like 41 passes defended, and Aaron Donald has way less than that. I don't know the exact number, but he has way less than that. And on top of that, talk about a guy who does it all for his team. J.J. Watt literally played offense. Like, he had 3 touchdowns in 2014. He was running like quick out routes and catching fade routes as a defensive end. And he also had 2 defensive touchdowns in his prime year as well. So like he was doing literally everything on both the defensive side and the offensive side of the ball. And batting down balls, getting quarterback hits, like doing everything.
See, like I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I think JJ Watt's like was a better player in his prime years, but Aaron Donald just is sitting there in the middle of that defense, like he's just like I said, he's anchoring that whole like setup because. For example, JJ Watt plays an end. If I want to run it, if I don't want to run it to JJ Watt, I just run it to the opposite side, and there's nothing you can do about that. But Aaron Donald being there in the middle as like I think a 3-4 edge, which is basically like a defensive tackle, there's no way you can escape him. Like I've seen videos about how he actually creates holes for the running back because he, you know, like breaches the offensive line so quickly that there's just a big hole in the where Aaron Donald was supposed to be, and the running back runs through that. Like he's so dominant, and he just causes such an impact as a defensive tackle who can get pass rush. I don't. There's nothing more you can want in a defensive player.
Aaron Donald, I don't think many people understand how difficult Aaron Donald's job is because he, for lack of a better word, and probably the right word, revolutionized the defensive tackle position because now people understand what a defensive tackle can be. Most people are never going to get there. A majority, 99.9% of people are never going to get there. But we saw, like Leonard Williams got 10.5 sacks this year, and everyone in Big Blue was so hyped because defensive tackles getting double-digit sacks is something that's not in their job description. They shouldn't be able to do. And Aaron Donald does it regularly. He does it annually. He does it annually when facing the second highest or the highest double team rate in the NFL. Aaron Donald revolutionized this position. JJ Watt is an amazing defensive edge. He was the best at his time, 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. But he in no way revolutionized that edge position as much as Aaron Donald revolutionized the defensive tackle position.
Like Dash is saying, I can find other edges that replicate JJ Watt, like Reggie White, for example, or Bruce Smith, or like even Lawrence Taylor, kind of. But like no one does it like Aaron Donald, where you're just anchoring that defense, just sitting there in the middle, plugging everything, causing havoc, and you're able to get pass rush, and you're able to draw like 2 or 3 blocks at one time, just like freeing up, giving your other edge guys one-on-ones. That's why you see such success for like Leonard Floyd this year and stuff like that. So I don't think there's like
Mhm.
yeah, he's just like, he's a great leader and everything. So I don't know. I would rather have Aaron Donald.
I mean, yeah, I get where you guys are coming from. Like Aaron Donald is probably going to go down as a GOAT defensive tackle, but I just feel like JJ Watt in his prime years was so dominant, like in doing everything. I just felt like he had that, and not to say Donald doesn't have it, but like he was just like, I'm gonna say it again, but he was just like everywhere, doing absolutely everything. But I mean, at the end of the day, both of these guys are great players, and we were lucky to watch both of them, in their prime years.